welcome back to Raw Synergy TV. I thought I would do a one-year update on drinking celery juice. I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and I figured it was time to share. For those of you who don't know, celery juice has been made very popular by Anthony William, who is also known as the medical medium. He's written a lot of books, and a lot of people have sworn by his protocols for healing, especially for things that have been very difficult to heal, or like mystery symptoms or mystery illnesses that doctors don't really know what people have, but the medical medium protocol has seemed to help a lot of people. So I started drinking celery juice back on July 24th of 2020, and it started with a 12-day juice cleanse because I've been dealing with a lot of issues that have been really frustrating for me because for a long time I felt like I've had food sensitivities. But as time has gone by, I really believe that it might not be food sensitivities and it might be something else. But that's still to be determined. I'm in the process of getting lab work done to try to figure out what exactly is going on with me, so more of that in a future video. However, I really did feel that I wanted to give this celery juice a fair try because so many people have raved about its benefits. I started drinking celery juice every morning, starting with this 12-day juice cleanse. And I honestly started this juice cleanse not really realizing how long I would go. I just kind of wanted to do it just to kind of give my body a reboot. Anthony William recommends drinking 32 ounces of water first thing in the morning, typically with lemon juice. I personally can't do lemon juice. My body doesn't tolerate it, so I just do 32 ounces of water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and then you wait 15, 20, 30 minutes and then have your celery juice. And the idea is to drink celery juice by itself with nothing else in it. It's just pure celery juice. There's a lot of reasons for this, and if you want to know more, I definitely recommend reading the medical medium book specifically on celery juice, although many of his books specifically talk about celery juice and the protocol of drinking it, and pretty much follow his advice, because there are a lot of people online who will advise you to put things in it like lemon juice, like apple cider vinegar, or drinking it with ginger or other things, and the whole idea is that the main benefits come from drinking just the celery juice on its own, nothing else in your system. It's also really important to work your way up to drinking this much celery juice, because a lot of people find that drinking celery juice is very cleansing, and they find that they have to run to the bathroom quickly after having their celery juice. So you want to work your way up. So I started out with, I think it was about 8 ounces in the very beginning. I started out with 8 ounces, and then when I realized that I was okay with that, then I moved up to 16 ounces, then I think it was 28 ounces, and then I quickly got myself up to 32 ounces. I did find that it did have a cleansing effect on me in the very beginning. It wasn't major or serious in any way, but it definitely did have a cleansing effect. But I can drink it now and I don't have any issues. It's very comfortable for me. Once I decided to end my 12-day juice cleanse, I kept up with the celery juice. In fact, I started doing the medical medium advanced 369 cleanses right after ending my juice cleanse. I thought, well, I'm on this cleansing kick and I'm doing all this good stuff for my body. I might as well keep it going and just see what will happen. So I ended up doing 9 advanced 369 cleanses from the medical medium book, Cleanse to Heal. I did them back to back pretty much. There were a few days in between the first few that I did, but then I decided to just do them back to back to back. So the moment that I would end one, I would start another. And this particular cleanse does include celery juice, and it includes it morning towards the middle of the cleanse, then you are doing it twice a day. So 32 ounces in the morning and then another 32 ounces in the afternoon. And so while I was doing those cleanses, I was actually doing the celery juice twice a day. But then once that ended, I ended that cleanse somewhere in November. I think it was like, I want to say November 4th. So from July to November, I did this like really long extended cleanse. And I felt great, but I didn't really notice any major healing reactions from doing all of that. But I will say that from doing specifically the celery juice and keeping up with it, I've definitely noticed some benefits. So before doing the celery juice, before starting it, I noticed that my stomach was feeling really full a lot. And it seemed like food was not digesting well. I didn't have a strong hunger, and I noticed that my digestion was really sluggish, and it just felt like even the following day after eating a meal the night before, it just still felt like there was food left in my stomach, like things weren't digesting. And I also had some bloating going on. The bloating wasn't quite as serious as it was years ago when I had parasites, and the bloating was just absolutely overwhelming, like taking a couple bites of food and then just could not eat anything else. It wasn't like that. It was just sort of like a general bloating. It was really livable. So it took me about a month to start really seeing a huge change. I would say after a couple of weeks, I probably started to notice a little bit of a difference in how my stomach and my digestion felt, but definitely after a month, I was feeling a lot better. I definitely could eat more food, whereas before starting the celery juice, I was noticing that I could only eat about half the amount of food that I would typically eat, and half the amount that I actually needed for my caloric needs and just general energy needs. I would feel pretty hungry, but then maybe halfway through my meal, I would start to feel super full, to the point where I was like, okay, I don't think that I can eat any more food. Even though I've prepared my typical amount of food, I just felt so full and I couldn't eat anymore. And that was very frustrating for me. Once I had started drinking the celery juice, I would say about 2 weeks into it, I started to notice an improvement, and then definitely a month later, huge improvement. I was able to eat the typical amount of food that I was normally able to eat, and things just started to feel so much more balanced and relaxed and comfortable. I didn't feel like I had food left in my stomach the next day. My digestive fire just felt like it was back to normal. It really felt like my stomach acid was back to balance, where it needed to be in order to digest all of my food. So overall, I really noticed a huge improvement by including celery juice in my daily routine. Now, something really interesting happened a few months ago. The guy that I buy celery from at the farmer's market didn't show up one day. And at that time, for some reason, local stores that I shop at also didn't have a good selection of celery. Either their celery was really, really small, like the bunches were really, really small, and celery here in most places, or in a lot of places, is like $3 for one bunch of celery. To make 32 ounces of celery juice would have cost me like $18 a day to get enough celery to juice that much. And then other places, their celery just didn't look good, or they didn't have any supply. Like there was a while there where it was really hard to get celery. So I thought, okay, I'll take a break for a week and see what happens. And after a week, I was okay. So I thought, okay, I'll try another week and see what happens, because it was kind of like a nice break to not have to make celery juice every day. And then after that second week, my digestion just did not feel right again. I was starting to feel really full again after a short time of eating my main meals, and it was very uncomfortable. So I thought, okay, I'll go back on the celery juice and see what happens. I got back on the celery juice, and I would say again, it took me about a month to get my digestion back on track again. It was very frustrating, but that to me showed me that the celery juice was in fact helping my digestion. So I continued again with it, and I will definitely continue with the celery juice for as long as I feel like I need it, because I really do feel like it is benefiting my digestion and helping me with my gut issues. I've seen a lot of people online making videos about trying celery juice for a week and not seeing any results and really discarding the whole concept of drinking celery juice. And if I'm gonna be honest, I was actually one of those people who tried celery juice in the very beginning when I first heard about it, and gave it only about a week before I just kind of brushed it off as well as, hey, it didn't do anything for me. So I think a lot of people don't give it enough time. So if you're someone who does have digestive issues and you're struggling with bloating, constipation, any kind of digestive upset, and you're thinking about doing celery juice, I definitely recommend giving it a try, but give it, I would say, at least a month, and really work your way up to the 32-ounce mark. Make sure you're following the protocol so that you're drinking your water in the morning, lemon water if you can do it, and then waiting that 15, 20, 30-minute period in between before starting just the celery juice, nothing else, and then letting that rest for another 15 or 20 minutes once you've completed your celery juice, and then consume whatever food that you're going to consume. And with that being said, if you have digestive issues, don't think that you can drink the celery juice and then continue eating really bad food, like junk food, fried food, deep fried foods, and foods that don't really represent or resemble whole foods. So I would recommend, in addition to drinking celery juice, doing something like changing your diet in a way that supports healthy digestion. And also looking into proper food combining, because proper food combining can really help your digestion in a lot of ways. Proper food combining really helped me a lot when I was having a lot of digestive issues in the past, especially heartburn and acid reflux. It makes a huge difference with that. Just making those changes alone was really, really important and key for me. So I would highly recommend proper food combining, making some healthy food choices and changes if you are eating deep fried foods, junk food, and not consuming a lot of fruits and vegetables. Really start making some of those changes in addition to doing the celery juice. Because if you don't make those types of food changes, it's really like having an open wound and putting ointment on it and a Band-Aid to help the wound heal, but then lifting up the Band-Aid and picking at the wound every single day, expecting it to heal. And that's just really not a good idea. It's not going to help that wound to heal. So that would be like drinking the celery juice and then continuing with really bad food habits. So in general, I really feel that celery juice has helped me a lot, and I would highly recommend giving it a try. I really do feel it's important to give it a fair amount of time, because like me in the very beginning when I first tried it, a week was just not enough to see a difference. Give it at least a month and do some research on celery juice and the benefits, because it does a lot more than just help your digestion. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them, or maybe even create another follow-up video if you guys are interested. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.